Talking with me in a moment is the founder of a London theatre school whose list of alumni reads like a who's who of British actors. Since starting a lunchtime improvisation club in 1968, she's inspired generations of child actors, from Pauline Quirke and Linda Robson to Kathy Burke and much of the cast of EastEnders. Yet after falling ill a decade ago, she found herself at the centre of a real-life drama when her teaching colleagues refused to allow her back into the school that bore her name, and she was forced to establish a new theatre school. Does she feel anger and bitterness at that betrayal, or does she still believe in her youthful credo that the smile is stronger than the scowl? I'll be talking with her about this and other matters in confidence. Anna, you never stop, do you, really? And just tell me what you'll be doing tomorrow, about how many people you'll be seeing, and what have you worked out what you're going to be doing? You know what you're going to be doing tomorrow?
Yes, I do, yes. I'm taking a secondary class, 11 to 15, tomorrow.
How many people will you have in the class?
There'll be about 20.
Yeah.
I had much bigger classes, but since I left the building, we're building up the numbers again.
And when you say building up the numbers, I mean, how many these are people who've been accepted to the school now?
Yes.
And you've got waiting lists as well, have you?
I did have, because there was a sort of turning point a few years ago when I left the building in Barnsby Road.
Yes, I know.
And I now have a little church hall, and the adult class is very full, but the secondary class isn't quite so full.
You have an adult class?
Yes,
now?
I do. I love taking the adults.
But that's new, isn't it?
No.
I always associated you in the past with children and young.
When I first started in 1968, I had children, and then they came back at 11 to go on to their secondary classes, and then they came back again for their adult classes. As they grew up, they didn't leave. So I've virtually always had adults.
But aren't they more starstruck now? I can't help thinking with programmes like X Factor on the television, and young children watching this must think, oh, I think I'll be a star. And they're more, they have the idea in their heads they can quickly become famous.
I think that was so then and now. But I'm very quick to spot a star-struck teenager. And I say, you need to come, to be trained, because I'm a great believer in training. Our motto is talent thrives through training together. At the moment, they love Adam Deacon, who's one of our boys. And they sort of say, did you really teach Adam Deacon? But if they want to be a star, they'll get a rude awakening on that.
What do you do? What do you say to them, Anna?
Well, just, come here for the sake of the class, and then if something like that happens, all well and good, but you need to walk before you run.
And you also, I know, and this reminds me of, because when I was years and years ago, I spent some time with Joan Littlewood, and the idea of saying to them, look, acting is not some wonderful, magical, star-studded thing. It's hard work. That's something that you tell them, I think.
Yes, just in Joan's words, that would be exactly what I would tell them. It's hard work. You've got to work at it. But it can be great fun, and enjoyment is the key.
When I go through, and it's difficult, there are so many names. You can add to these names. I think of Phil Daniels, Gillian Tailforth, Linda Robson, Pauline Quirke, Kathy Burke, Martin Gary Kemps, Susan Tully, Natalie Cassidy. How many have I missed out?
Well done.
How many have I missed out?
Sid Owen, Patsy Palmer.
Yes. All of these, and you maintain your friendship with most of these, or perhaps all of these.
Yes, I do like to remember their birthdays and at Christmas and so on. And, it's lovely to maintain the link.
Is there a thing, because working where you do, I mean, most of the backgrounds of the people that we've been mentioning are not really the normal backgrounds for many actors, but they're much more, not necessarily working class, perhaps lower middle class, but whatever, but they're not really, I mean, there's the idea that a lot of actors come from rather relatively privileged backgrounds. But
Yes.
is there something in you which believes that perhaps this class are underrepresented among actors? You want to do something to change that? Is there a missionary element?
It was quite by chance, Laurie. I mean, I came to Islington in January 1968, and they seemed to be quite tough. And I remember one of the sayings in the playground was, "I'll smash your face in," or, "I'll smash your head in." And I thought, right, I'll be back to Hampstead in no time. And, over 30 years later, I was still there. I am still there.
But you must have got middle-class people.
Oh, yes.
But they must have thought, oh, this is successful, I could get in here. I think you even had Ewan Blair, didn't you? You had one of the Blair.
Yes, that's right.
He popped
And
in.
Sophie Ward, Simon Ward's daughter. Lots. And then, well, again, what I have is, I call it integration through improvisation. And that's integration in every way. Class, colour, people of colour, creed, they're all mixed together. Integration through improvisation. And I do that abroad as well.
What do you think of other drama schools? The drama school I went to, or it was a long, long time ago, was almost a finishing school for middle-class girls, I have to say. An awful lot came from Surrey. I mean, I came down from Liverpool and I was amazed seeing all these well-mannered, polished people around. I felt quite out of sorts altogether. But what do you think about the drama schools? I mean, do you feel that you know how to teach people to act in a way that perhaps drama schools don't?
Oh, I wouldn't presume to say that at all. My way is just different. Improvisation is the staple, and we start them straight away on improvisation by giving a first line. Why are you always late, for example? And it just, go with the flow. And we're also strong on poetry. There's a poem done every class. But other drama schools, it's just a different brief.
You're being very nice, but I mean, I know you're an associate, rather, I think, aren't you? They've taken you on board, haven't they?
I was an associate, yes.
But you must, you said, because you don't, I mean, do you teach elocution, for example? When I arrived at drama school, the first thing I have to do is to learn to get rid of my flat northern A's.
I like them to keep where they come from. I like them to keep that accent. But I teach RP, received pronunciation, as a dialect. So let's say we were answering it.
It sounds, yes, nice.
Let's say we were doing a telephone exercise and had to receive good news or bad news. I would get them to do it in London, a London accent, a West Country accent, different ways of doing it. And then we used to call it posh English. And that would be the way in to receive pronunciation.
You mentioned about when you arrived and you hear people shouting, "I'm going to smash your head in," and all of that. But I would have thought that the problem that you must have had is discipline with this. How do you in a way keep order? Have you got any special techniques for keeping everybody quiet?
Well, I had my football rattler, and I used to use that if the noise became too much. I now use a tambourine. But to be fair, Laurie, when the children first come, the very first thing they learn is to be a good audience. When I talk, they listen to me. When they talk, I listen to them. And that's the ground rule which is established from day one.
You're strict.
I am a martinet.
and you also, you tell them about smoking and about...
Yes.
drinking. Tell me what you say. I mean, is this an introductory speech for new people when they arrive, like a headmistress's speech?
I do a little song called "Several Silly Smokers Sound Seriously Sad." And we do it in sotto voce and crescendo it, and we sing it, and and the smokers, this is in my adult group, they sing heartily. Several silly smokers sound seriously sad. 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 So we do this as a kind of mantra. And but with humour injected into it.
It stops them smoking, does it? You don't know.
I don't know, but I'll often get. I mean, Shirley Ann, she says I haven't been smoking now for 6 weeks, and then I don't like to ask after that.
So and there's the drinking's got to be watched as well.
Yes.
You tell them about that.
1 bottle of beer, 2 bottle. I have another song to do with that.
How's that one go?
1 bottle of beer, 2 bottle of beer, 3 bottle of beer, 4 bottle of beer, 5 bottle of beer, 6 bottle of beer, 7 bottle of beer. Fish and chips and vinegar, vinegar, vinegar. Fish and chips and vinegar, pepper, pepper, pepper pot. And these are for our voice warm up. I'm a great believer in a 5-point plan. And for the 5-point plan, for communication skills, it starts with posture and balance, projection, diction, listening with eye contact, and a friendly tone of voice. And that's, people spend years on communication skills, but that's something to hold on to, that 5-point plan.
You like your 5-point plans and your rather onomatopoeic, or lots of. I mean, you have 5 P's or 5 T or whatever. I can't remember what they all are, and then you have little ways. If there's a quarrel, you even have ways of making up little quarrels, don't you? Have a little. I think it's something called the olive branch idea. Or
That's right.
What do you do?
Well, with the olive branch, the first line might be, "I'm really sorry about yesterday," and and the other thing I do is role reversal, putting the boot on the other foot. And I think, again, not in a heavy way, but that seems to be a successful olive branch.
So if someone's misbehaved,
yes,
the person who's misbehaved has to adopt the role of the one who's been injured or the one who's been hurt by the misbehaviour.
Not quite as clearly as that. I do it after an improvisation, showing them that, if the improvisation has got very contentious, I do the olive branch after that.
And you've got the other little thing about smiling, isn't it? What is it? That's one I heard you talk about once. But the smile
is stronger than the scowl.
Yes, that's right.
Can I try it on you, Laurie?
Do try it on me.
Okay. Well, you've got, let's say, you've got to look into my eyes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Take your hands down from your face. Right. And I'm going to smile, and you're going to scowl, and I've got to try and change that scowl into a smile. Keep looking in my eyes.
I see what you mean.
You see what I mean?
No, it is quite. I feel a bit stupid with that expression on my face when you're smiling, because I do want to reciprocate.
Yes.
Didn't work though. Somebody told me with Van Morrison.
That's right. Well, we were on the Gloria Hunniford show, and Van was sitting in the green room opposite me, and he looked very. I hate to say it because his music is wonderful, but he did look morose. So I tried the smile scowl test with him, but I'm afraid I failed miserably. He wasn't having any of it.
You just were smiling at him and he was scowling back at you.
He probably thought I was some sort of stalker.